Let's be honest. There's a moment every man feels but never admits out loud. That cold shift when a woman who used to look at you like you were her entire world suddenly treats you like an option, like you're a background character in a story you once led. And you wonder, when did the love turn into convenience? When did her admiration fade into entitlement? She didn't just take your love for granted, she took you for granted. You tried. You showed up. You put effort into the little things she never even noticed. The messages, the support, the patience, the way you never let her feel alone. You thought loyalty was enough. You thought being a good man would be valued. But somewhere along the way, she started thinking you'd never leave. So she stopped trying to make you want to stay. She got comfortable, too comfortable. Texts got shorter. Her tone got colder. The spark, gone. You were the same man. But she changed, and every time you asked what was wrong, she brushed you off like your worry was an inconvenience. I'm just tired. It's nothing. You're overthinking. No, you weren't overthinking. You were overcaring. That's the part she didn't understand. Because when a woman believes she has endless access to your heart, she stops seeing its value. Women don't start regretting when you're still available at her fingertips. They start regretting when the silence replaces your attention, when you stop defending yourself, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop chasing what refuses to meet you halfway. That's when her mind shifts. That's when she starts replaying every time you held her down and how she pushed you away. You want to know the truth? A woman doesn't regret losing a man because she suddenly becomes a better person overnight. She regrets because reality finally hits. Not all love is replaceable. Not all men are patient. Not all hearts come back once they're done being taken for granted. She regrets the comfort she abused, the consistency she ignored, the loyalty she thought she could mistreat forever. Regret doesn't begin when you're begging to be chosen. Regret begins the second you choose yourself. Right now, she probably doesn't feel anything. She might even think she upgraded, but time has a wicked way of revealing the truth. One day, she will look at someone else and feel nothing. She'll scroll through messages with a man who doesn't care if she responds, and she'll remember you, the one who always did, the one who fought, the one who cared deeper than she ever deserved. Regret comes quietly, late at night, long after the breakup bruises fade. It sneaks in when she hears your name, or drives past that spot you loved, or laughs at something and then realizes you're not there to laugh with her. And that's when she finally understands she didn't just lose a man, she lost the man. She never expected you to walk away. She assumed your heart was a revolving door, always open, always waiting, always forgiving. She believed that no matter how many times she pulled back, you'd push forward. No matter how many times she gave less, you'd somehow give more. That's the trap good men fall into. They love with the kind of loyalty that gets mistaken for weakness. But now, you're not that man anymore. There's a moment, a breaking point, where a man stops chasing the potential of who she could be and starts accepting the truth of who she is. That moment is powerful. It's the moment she never saw coming, because she didn't think you had it in you to detach. She thought your patience was endless. She mistook your kindness as a guarantee. When you start pulling back, even just an inch, she notices. Suddenly the phone isn't ringing like it used to. You're not dropping everything to show up anymore. You're slower to reply. You're calmer. You're distant, almost peaceful. And that peace scares her more than any argument ever could. Because now she has competition. And her biggest fear isn't another woman. It's you discovering your worth. Female psychology is simple in one way. The moment a woman realizes she is no longer the center of your world, she starts questioning why. Her brain goes into overdrive. Is he losing interest? Is he seeing someone else? Did I go too far? Why isn't he chasing me anymore? The same man she once overlooked becomes the man she can't stop thinking about. She remembers the way you used to look at her, like she was the best decision you ever made. She remembers the compliments, the affection, the effort. And now She's starving for the attention she once drowned in. She starts watching your stories, liking your posts, finding excuses to reach out. Not because she suddenly loves better, but because fear has replaced her confidence. And here's the crazy part. It's not losing you that hurts her most. It's realizing she lost the only version of herself that felt truly loved. She'll test you again, subtly. A random text, a question that doesn't need an answer, maybe a comment about how you've changed. But what she's really asking is your heart still mine? And whether she admits it or not, that question keeps her up at night. Men rarely get credit for their emotional resilience. You took hits silently. You endured disrespect quietly. You held on hoping she'd wake up and see you, really see you. But all she saw was a man who wouldn't leave. That illusion is shattered now. And once a man stops fighting for a woman, she finally understands what it means to lose a good man. She thought you'd never be the one who walked away. Now she can't believe you're the one who did. Women don't regret losing the man who begged for their love. They regret losing the man who finally stopped. They regret the silence after the storm. They regret the peace that replaces the arguments. They regret when the attention that once felt suffocating suddenly becomes precious, and that regret doesn't hit instantly, it hits in stages. At first she pretends she's fine, she plays it cool, she hides behind new faces, new places, new distractions, all while convincing herself she made the right choice. She acts like the breakup elevated her, like she leveled up, like she's too good for what you offered. That's the denial stage, the ego stage, but ego never lasts long. Because eventually the world stops entertaining her, the attention gets old, the compliments mean nothing. The guys who try to replace you, they don't know her heart the way you did. They don't notice the details you memorized. They don't bring safety, only excitement that fades in days. And suddenly, she realizes everything she thought was replaceable was actually rare. Then comes comparison, and comparison poisons confidence. Every new guy she meets becomes a reminder of what she lost. He doesn't listen like you did. He doesn't understand like you did. He doesn't love like you did. She tries to force the connection, make it work, but forced love always falls apart. The next stage is reflection. That's when she scrolls through old messages, the ones she once rolled her eyes at because you cared too much. She replays the moments you gave her the world while she gave the bare minimum. She remembers the nights you stayed up to comfort her, and the nights she left you alone with your thoughts. That reflection hurts, because it exposes her mistake. She starts realizing that while she was chasing attention, you were offering affection. While she was seeking validation, you were building a future. While she doubted your value, you were proving it every single day without needing a spotlight. Women regret most not because they lost a man, but because they realize they never even tried to be the woman you deserved. And then regret takes its final form, fear. Fear that you've already replaced her. Fear that another woman is benefiting from the love she took for granted. Fear that you upgraded and she downgraded. That fear isn't jealousy, it's accountability. It's the consequence of her choices. See, regret has a cruel way of flipping the narrative. Suddenly you're the standard. You become the one she compares every man to. And here's the twist. The more you improve, the more her regret grows. Your success becomes her reminder. Your happiness becomes her warning. Your glow-up becomes her punishment. Because the moment you stop needing someone is the moment they start needing you. She didn't think twice when she had you. Now she can't stop thinking about you. Her regret? It's just beginning. Regret isn't loud in the beginning. It whispers, soft, subtle. It creeps in when she's scrolling late at night, bored, lonely, realizing the world isn't giving her what she thought she deserved. She starts asking herself silent questions she'd never admit out loud. Why do I miss him? Was I the problem? Did I walk away from the best thing that ever happened to me? At first, she'll blame you. That's easier. It protects her from the truth. But the truth doesn't go away just because ego tries to bury it. One day, she sees your name and her stomach flips. Not with excitement this time, but with what-ifs. Because deep down, she knows the part of you she ignored. Someone else will appreciate. She knows the love she took for granted. Someone else will treasure. And it hits her. She wasn't the only one you could have chosen. She was simply the one you chose. There's a huge difference. You weren't desperate. You were devoted. And devotion is rare. See, every woman believes she's irreplaceable until she's replaced. Every woman thinks she can walk away and still hold a place in your heart forever until she sees another woman smiling the smile she used to have. That's when the panic starts. Regret isn't a heartbreak. It's a realization that she held the winning ticket and threw it away because she didn't understand the prize. She remembers the times you suggested solutions while she brought problems. She remembers how she pushed you away on the days you only wanted to pull her close. She remembers how she made you feel like you were never enough, only to later discover you were more than she ever deserved. And now she looks at herself differently. She sees the selfishness she excused. She sees the disrespect she normalized. She sees the love she mishandled. Accountability isn't kind. It burns. Women start regretting when they lose the man who made them feel safe enough to be soft, when they lose the man who would have gone to war for them without being asked, when they lose a heart that stayed even when it was hurting. Because hearts like yours don't circle back. They move forward. She'll pretend she's healed, but every healed woman eventually faces the truth. She didn't lose you because you weren't enough. She lost you because she gave the bare minimum and expected you to survive on it. And the worst part? Regret stays longer than love ever did. It sits in her mind, replaying what could have been. If she had just cared a little more, respected a little deeper, loved a little harder. But too late turns some women into storytellers, constantly talking about the man they almost built a future with. You. And that's the reality she'll have to live with while you build a life without her. There's a point where a man's heart evolves, where the pain that once broke him becomes the fuel that builds him. You don't stay the same after being taken for granted. You grow sharper, wiser, harder to access. You realize love isn't about proving your worth to someone who refuses to see it. It's about protecting your energy for a woman who won't treat you like a backup plan. That shift in you? Yeah, she notices. She sees you investing in yourself. She sees you becoming colder, calmer, more focused. She sees you doing all the things she once begged you to do, except now you're doing them without her. Nothing triggers regret like a man leveling up. You start dressing better, working on your goals, hitting the gym, sharpening your mind, protecting your peace. You're not the man she walked away from. You're the man she prays she never has to see with someone else. Because when you transform, she loses access. And losing access to a good man hits harder than any breakup pain. She didn't just lose a boyfriend, she lost the future she didn't realize she needed until it was gone. She'll say she's happy, she'll say she's over it, she'll say she's better off. But deep down, she knows she wouldn't be looking back if she truly moved on. Remorse always arrives dressed as curiosity. She wants to know if you still think of her, if you still care, if you'd still drop everything if she called. She wants the reassurance without the responsibility, the attention without the commitment, the love without earning it. But the old version of you doesn't exist anymore. The man who tolerated disrespect? Gone. The man who accepted excuses? Done. The man who loved blindly? He opened his eyes, and those eyes now see her clearly. She may try to come back, but not because she suddenly became the right woman. Sometimes people come back just to confirm they still have control. But you're smarter now. You finally understand the value you bring. You finally understand that love should feel mutual, not one-sided. A woman only regrets losing a man when she realizes he was building a life she could have been part of if she hadn't treated him like a placeholder. That realization doesn't fade. It lingers. It haunts. She sees your growth as a reminder of her mistakes. She sees your confidence as the proof she was wrong about you. She sees your happiness as the evidence that she wasn't the blessing. You were. And regret becomes her silent punishment. You didn't win by making her jealous. You didn't win by replacing her quickly. You won by becoming a version of yourself who would never settle for the way she treated you again. Your comeback isn't revenge. Your comeback is redemption. And that's exactly what will echo in her mind every time she wonders, what if I never should have let him go? The biggest regret a woman feels doesn't come when you walk away. It comes when she realizes you're not coming back, when the door she always assumed would stay open finally locks, when she understands that another woman will wake up to the good mornings she used to ignore. Another woman will hold the same hand she once pushed away. Another woman will get the love she never learned to appreciate. There's a certain heartbreak in knowing you had something real and treated it like it was temporary. She will run into a moment she can't escape. Maybe she sees you smiling in a photo. Maybe she hears your favorite song unexpectedly. Maybe a friend mentions your name. Or maybe she just sits down one night. And all the memories flood in at once. Not the fights, not the flaws, but the way you made her feel protected, wanted, important. That's the moment regret hits with full force. Because she doesn't just miss you, she misses who she was when she was loved by you. She misses the softness she felt safe showing. She misses the comfort of knowing someone genuinely cared. She misses the kind of love that wasn't built on conditions, but on choice. Women aren't afraid of losing love. They're afraid of losing the love that would have stayed. And that's what you were, a love that would have stayed. But every strong man eventually learns, staying loyal to the wrong woman means abandoning yourself, and you finally chose you. That's when your story stopped being about heartbreak and started becoming about growth. She will watch the man you are becoming, the man she never supported, and realize that every part of her thought she could do better was a lie she told herself to justify losing you. Her regret isn't a single moment, it's a lifetime of reminders. Every milestone you reach, every victory you earn, every smile that isn't because of her. It all becomes proof that she let the right man slip away. Listen closely. Her regret is not your responsibility. Her healing is not your mission. Her desire to reconnect is not your obligation. You are not required to revisit the places that broke you just because someone else finally understands the value they once ignored. You didn't become stronger so you could go backwards. You became stronger so you could rise into the life and love that was always meant for you. So don't ever dim your growth to fit back into the comfort of someone else's regret. You moved on not because you stopped caring, but because you finally started caring about yourself. Let her regret stay where it belongs, in her memory. And let your happiness live where it belongs, in your future. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been taken for granted by someone who thought you'd never leave? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help another man feel less alone. And if this message hit you in the heart, even once, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs this reminder today. Your comeback starts right now.